Welcome back to another episode of Addicted to Quitting, where we are focusing on quitting the habits that no longer serve us so we can elevate our health, our habits, and our happiness. I am your host, Gentry. I'm a divorced mom to 4 boys, and I am obsessed with quitting the things that no longer serve us. I think that too often we talk about the things we need to add, but we don't talk about what we need to remove so that we can make space for the things that we need to add so we can actually level up. Otherwise, we're just stuffing more stuff on top of stuff. And so today I want to talk to you about something that is near and dear to my heart. It came up in our family dinner last night, and it's quitting the perception of success. If you are ready to get real, this episode is for you.
I am so excited to talk about this topic because I know that I am not the only one who gets trapped in the cycle of the pursuit of perception of success. So, what is the pursuit of perception of success besides being a mouthful? It is where we perceive what is successful instead of really looking internally on what we deem and what we define as success. So it's when we look at the cars, like, do you have the car because you wanted the car and because it fits your family and it fits your budget? Or do you have the car because that's what you perceive as successful and that's what other people will think you're successful, or other people will identify you as successful because you have that car? Never mind that you can't afford the car and that it's on a 10-year payment plan with like 25% interest, but you have the car. So to you, you feel like you're successful because other people are perceiving you as successful. Or is it the title? Or is it the name brand clothes? Or is it the marriage that is failing and is unhealthy and toxic, but it gives you this perception of being successful because you have the family? We get trapped in a cycle of a perception of success. And I found myself trapped in this cycle years ago when I was working as an accountant. So last night we're at dinner with my family, and there is a restaurant in town that has bins. They use sides of bins as like a accent wall. And one of the bins on the wall is the logo of the company that I used to work for. So this was a multi-million-dollar fruit packing warehouse, and I was the controller or CFO for them. And this was years of schooling, training, internships, working in public accounting, working as the assistant controller before I worked my way up to being the actual controller. So the top of the food chain in this company. Actually, we had a GM above me. So I was right below him. So we have a GM, but for the accounting department, I was at the top of the food chain. And I worked so hard to get there. I worked so hard to get there. And every step I took in the direction of being an accountant was like denying the person I actually was. And it caused so much internal turmoil where I just felt so out of alignment. So if you've watched me on social media, if you know me in real life, you know that I am loud. I'm a busybody. I talk a lot. Obviously, I have a podcast. And I'm creative. I like to dance. I dance on my table. I'm ADHD. I'm forgetful as heck. Like, thank goodness for my friends like, well, Haley's stepmom. She helps me all the time because she's more systematic. So she's always reminding me of things for our kids. Like Stephanie, shout out to Stephanie if you're listening to this. But I have moms that know that I'm forgetful. Anastasia, that kind of like keep me in check because I'm just not the accountant brain. Like, if you guys know a traditional accountant, they're very like sterile and systematic and step by step. That is not me. That is not me at all. But when I found out that I was pregnant with my son at 21, I had to grow up. And to grow up meant to do things and make sacrifices that weren't in alignment with the best version of myself, weren't in alignment with my true gifts. And I thought that I was doing the honorable thing by dimming my light to provide for my kids, provide for my family. But really, in the long term, all I was doing was trying to live up to the perceptions of success versus really identifying what my definition of success was. And I found myself depressed, overwhelmed, stressed out, hating accounting. Like, just I was so confused. I was so confused in accounting because my brain just wanted to go 17 different ways, that like just doing normal data entry stuff was like, Like my brain just couldn't, it wasn't good at it. And I was just like, I was hard on myself. Like, why can't I just do this like a normal person? Why can't I just handle this? Like, it's not that hard. Well, it's because I wasn't made to be an accountant. I wasn't made to be sitting at a desk for 8 hours at a time. I wasn't made to be dimming my light just to provide for my kids. And I think that this is something that we need to address as a society, that we think that because we become parents, we're supposed to give up everything that we wanted for ourselves. And I'm not saying that we need to stay being like we should not make sacrifices for our kids, or that we should not, there's not times that we need to choose our kids over ourselves. Absolutely, like my kids always come first, and at the time that was the best decision I could make with the information that I had, and to pursue my dreams, to pursue my goals, to be who I thought I wanted to be, or who I kind of felt like was successful to me, or like felt in alignment with me, was a very, very scary, risky thing. So I went with the safe option to make sure I could provide for my kids. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I just don't think that we should be so obsessed with the pursuit of the perception of success that we deny ourselves our own definition of success. Because today, my definition of success is the level of communication and the strength of the relationships I have with my kids. When I was working full time as an accountant, I was spending so many hours away from the home. I had a full-time nanny in my house helping me run my house. Like, she was like the stay-at-home mom and took care of my kids, helped with laundry, helped keep my house picked up, which was amazing. I miss her so much. Zoe, please come back. With the household stuff at least. But I was not as present with my kids. And then I was still stressed out because I'm getting home at 5:30 and still having to figure out dinner and still having to figure out these things. And today I don't care as much about the money, because back then it was like, I have to look successful, I have to appear successful, I have to get to the top of the food chain, I have to have the car, I have to have the marriage, I have to have the dog, I have to have these things because that will make me feel successful. And at the end of the day, it didn't. At the end of the day, it didn't. And I think that this is something that's wrong with our society right now, is that we tell kids, dream big. You can be whatever you want to be, until you have kids. And we don't always say that part, the last part, until you have kids, but it is for sure, an like unwritten rule. You can be anything you want to be until you have kids. And then you need to suppress yourself. You need to dim your light. And then you need to turn and feed everything into your kids and your husband or your spouse. And you are no longer important. And this pursuit of the perception of success got me so trapped. But guess what, guys? We have alcohol, and Mommy Needs Wine is right there waiting for you, ready to be like, it's okay. I know it's hard. I know it sucks. I know that you're in this complete out of alignment with the best version of yourself. You're a complete out of alignment of the person you truly want to be. But we have alcohol that will solve all your problems. And I know it's hard for you to have fun anymore, because we told you that as adults, we don't get to have fun, but we'll give you this drug that is socially acceptable by everyone and everywhere, that will help you be able to have fun when you have short opportunities to have fun. Like, we forget how to have fun on our own. We forget how to live things on our own. Like, we always are needing something from the outside world when we become adults, that we no longer look internal. Like, the success and the markers of what was successful for me during that time was what I thought other people would deem as successful. The ability to have fun, or the ability to cope, was deemed on the alcohol that I could consume. I was no longer capable of creating my own definitions of success, my own definitions of fun, my own ability to have my own fun, my own ability to have my own thoughts. It was always looking from the outside in, and using tools from the outside to help me fix my insides. And in the process of getting sober, and in the process of trying to leave this pursuit of this perception of success, I really had to look at the internal. I had to be like, what do I think is successful? Like, absolutely, I need to make money. Like, absolutely, I have to be able to provide for my kids just on some level. Absolutely, I have to be able to have a car. But do I need the nicest car? Do I need, like, is that stuff that really matters to me? Or is that what I want people to think, that I'm being successful because I have a nice car? Or I want people to think that I have it all together because I can go on this vacation. Or I want people to think that I have it all together because I can take a picture with this person. Like, I don't want any of that. I want to like remove all of that. It's like, I want my definition of success. And I want to live by my definition of success. And I want you to live by your definition of success. And you know what? Maybe for you, it is the materialistic things. And I'm not saying that in like a mean way, in a harsh way that you're materialistic. But for some people, that does carry weight internally. They feel good. They feel more confident. They feel better when they can dress a little bit nicer, when they have a little bit more luxury car. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that as long as it's you that wants it. Not what you think other people will think of you because you have it. As long as you want to have the nice things, you want to feel confident in the clothes that you wear, but not because you think other people will approve you or will give you the stamp of worthiness because you have those things. And I think that as I've grown in my sobriety, I've learned that the perception of success was a leading factor of so much of my anxiety, depression, my stress, my overwhelm, is because I wanted people to perceive me as successful. I want to encourage you to live your life in alignment with your purpose. And your purpose is going to look different than my purpose. It's going to look different than your parents' purpose. It's going to look different than your friend's purpose. It's going to look different than the societal pressures of purpose or perfection. But if you can really look at your own purpose, self-reflect on what makes you happy, what makes you feel fulfilled, what makes you feel like you're being successful, then you can find things that are going to be in alignment with that purpose. The consequences of living out of alignment with your true purpose and your potential is going to be emotional burnout. You're going to have lack of fulfillment. You're going to have anxiety, depression. You're going to have strained relationships. But when you can live in alignment with your purpose, you really can let go of that outside opinion. Let go of the external pressures. Let go of what you think people think of you and just be like, what do I think of me? Because if you are thinking, what do people think of me? Then you are not living in alignment with your true authentic self. You are living in alignment with what you think other people want from you. So you have to change that question to, what do I think of me? What do I think of me and how I'm showing up? Am I satisfied with the amount of money that I'm making? Am I satisfied with the way I'm showing up for my kids? Am I satisfied with the confidence that I have in myself? Am I satisfied with the relationships in my life? Am I satisfied with the example I'm setting as a parent? It's not about what we perceive as successful. It's not about what other people's opinions are. It's about you. What do you want for your life? And when you can let go of those outside opinions and this perception of success based on what you think people want from you and what you think is successful in the adulthood world, then you're going to be able to start to really take action and steps in the alignment with your true potential, with your purpose. And it has to start with like baby steps of just being more authentically you. I know I am not the only person who is struggling or who has struggled with the pursuit of the perception of success. And so I am encouraging you today to let go of outside opinions, to let go of living for the external view and really start digging deep into yourself and start having that self-reflection and that deciding what your values are, deciding what is important to you, deciding what your measures of success are. And maybe it is X amount of dollars, but that's because that's what you deem as successful based on what you want to be able to provide for yourself and your family, not because that's what you think other people will quote unquote define as successful. You are responsible for your life. You have to start creating your own definitions of success. You have to start thinking about what you really want in life. And then try to figure out what's not in alignment with that. But when you can start looking at what you truly want, like remove the outside opinions, remove the outside vices, and be like, this is who I am. This is what I want. This is what I like. This is what I deem as successful. This is how much money I think I need to make to be successful. This is how much I need to give back to be successful. This is how much I need to have the relationship with my kids to feel successful based on your feelings of success, your definitions of success, your values, your true, authentic, inner thoughts and opinions of you, then you truly can find your success. Then you can truly start living in alignment with the best version of yourself. But it's your opinion that matters, not anyone else's. So start focusing on what you think of you. Thank you for listening to another episode of Addicted to Quitting, where we are focusing on quitting the habits that no longer serve us so we can elevate your health, your habits, and your happiness. Today, we talked all about quitting pursuing the perception of success. And we quit pursuing the perception of success by quitting worrying about other people's opinions. Outside opinions do not matter. The only thing that matters is the opinions you have of yourself. Much love to my favorite quitters. See you next time.